Greg Miller, alongside the producer/seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Hello.
You need to shave. I don't like
Me? Let's go Sky Cam on the beard. That's what it looks like.
Real good coverage.
That's what it looks like right now.
Can you get in a little more? A little bit further? A little bit further? A little bit further? You nailed it.
Oh, no.
Greg's going wild.
It went sexual all over my phone.
Are you ever going to shave yours again?
No. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't have any plans to at this point.
Yeah.
I need to trim it down right now because it's starting to eat my face.
Sure.
You can see how far it's getting up there. And then also I get this weird, like, this area right here gets like a little longer. It's like one little tooth that sticks out.
Sure.
But I got a beard guy. I'm going to go see him in a week or two. I'm waiting until the week of Thanksgiving so I can look.
Here, we're getting oh, there it is.
God, I'm losing control of it.
What is happening, Kevin? Why is the frame itself sinking? Please screen cap all these. Send them to me. You can GIF it too if you like. But I want to see more than just one GIF and more than one screenshot because you guys have been slacking on that lately. I also want to give a big shout out and thank you to everyone for Extra Life over the weekend. We, of course, didn't do the show yesterday because we had streamed for 24 hours over the weekend. We raised, with you, the community, of course, because you guys did the community streams before and after ours. We so far have raised more than $74,000 for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. It's a great cause, a great thing. You can still donate, of course, if you want to, by going to kindafunny.com/extralife. You can still join the team, do your own streams. It's great. Every little bit helps. We are currently the 4th place team.
Take that, kids.
No. I mean,
Take that in your face, kids.
You want to say it in a more positive light, like, take that money, kids. Enjoy it.
Oh.
Not like take it like we're mad at them.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not paying for the kids to go away.
No.
We're paying to help the kids.
Right. They're going to have better facilities.
Well, then you guys all out there should probably donate. Otherwise, you're fucking monsters.
Well, that's one way to... The link's broken.
While you're loading that up, a lot of people have been saying this word, and I don't know what it means, Greg. Can you tell me what this word means? Where is it? Hold on. Sorry. Let me find it here. What is this word?
Bongos! 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 Kevin, you want to get your bongo belly over here?
No.
You want to shake that ass over here?
I really don't. Nick, don't look at me that way. It freaks me out.
Best part of the stream. It's tradition now. You understand that. We've done it 2 years in a row. It has to happen every year.
Nothing's happened yet.
You were the one that raised your shirt.
All right, I'll put it back down.
What are you talking about? That was part of the deal for the kids. The big, beautiful kids.
I'm sweating real hard today. Dude, stop rubbing it.
He wants to warm it up.
Warm up the drum. Am I wrong? That's how you do it. You warm up the drum, right?
Colin's gone. He's gone to us.
I'm going to pray to the gods of the drums. O Lord of percussion, hallowed be thy name. Let's make this a good one. Okay, peace.
We're good, right? We did it.
Greg, can I get rolling? Are we good?
I need at least 3 more of his.
Okay. All right, bye.
This is how Desi Arnaz practiced.
Tim put a note here. We missed this tip last week. Bart Jacasa gave a tip and said, during the launch of the PlayStation 4, Sony had an incentive called the Digital Upgrade Program. Do you think the Switch will have something similar if you already own games like Mario Kart, Smash, and Splatoon? P.S. Tim, I love you, man. I'm going to say no. I don't think they'll have an upgrade plan at all, anything like that. Don't worry about it. You just got to buy it all and give them that there. Money, money, money. Who wants the money? Everybody, everybody. Who wants the money? Everybody, everybody. Who wants the money? Everybody, everybody. Nick likes money.
That's really good.
You're a good partner there. I like that. Today, we are adding a Portillo's Frisbee. We are adding the Michael Jordan edition of NBA 2K16, which expired June 1st, 2016.
Right, just under the wire.
And this game's hats.
What do you think? Do you think when people get the box, they just don't even open it up, they just throw it out? To be fair, this Portillo's Frisbee is pretty dope.
I mean, you know how this is. Obviously, I ran in there for like 2 seconds. We'll put better things in as we go.
Will we?
There'll be games added to it at some point, I'm sure. 2 more tips, and I'm calling it. Okay. Wanch says, check out this video, 14 babies crying with the pitch brought down. It's what I imagine a gay orgy sounds like.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, let's.
That gotta laugh
I
at
don't
it,
know.
Tim.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I've heard about it, but let's.
I'll watch it,
actually
baby
watch
orgy. What the fuck is happening here?
What's going on, Kev?
Do you hear it?
No.
You're
I do.
Oh, I'm unplugged.
I don't like this.
This is fucked up. This is some messed up shit. I'm not gonna lie. All right. Thank you for ruining my day.
Tyson Rhino says, Nick, can I get a little Danger Zone?
Highway to the danger zone. Gonna take an Uber to the danger zone. Sorry, do you know which way the danger zone is? No, you're the fucking Uber driver. Why don't you know which way the goddamn
Use the app.
Use the app. It's not working. Do you want to go to this fucking Safeway instead? No, I want to go to the fucking danger zone. The song's called Highway to the Danger. Maybe it's on the highway. Try that. Use Waze, or as my dad calls it, Waz.
Does he really? That's funny as hell. Technically, that's how you should pronounce it.
Why?
Because it's like maze.
That's true.
Waze.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, there is a Z, right? Isn't it spelled with a Z? I don't fucking know.
Maze
It is.
pronounced maze.
It's like laser.
Jug. But it's with 3 G's and then I. So I think he's trying to say juggler, but he's got jugular. If you could make a trade with Rooster Teeth, who would you trade for and who would you give them to get them? Oh. No, we can't. Kevin's the only one who can run any of this stuff over there. We're not trading him.
Yeah, my first thought is Kevin.
Sick.
Can't do it. We need him.
What about Kevin?
I think we all know that Tim would rather be there.
Yeah.
So we give up Tim.
Let's get...
I want Barb.
I want Barb too.
All right.
Yeah.
But is that a fair trade? Do we have to sweeten the pot somehow?
For them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to throw in Kevin too.
But then no one's here to run any of the machinery.
Kind of pretty much runs itself though. We don't need to switch between the cameras. We don't need Skycam. Is that genius? Yes. Was it my idea? 100%. But we don't have to do that. What's even better is if Barb were here talking instead of me, so I could be sleeping right now.
It's true, I guess. I just don't know if that's a straight up fair trade.
Tim for Barb? They're both blonde.
It's true.
They're both good looking.
It's true.
They both talk about vagina a lot.
That is very true.
And they both like to draw dicks.
Chat, dude, is that a fair trade?
Tim, you're going to Rooster Teeth.
This is all hypothetical, Tim. You're still here. We love you.
Tim, we're buying houses in Texas.
We need.
Hardest Blue says Tim for Barb seems like a steal for y'all, and that's what I'm saying.
The great thing is, if we got Barb, I'm just saying, she would at least never grow a beard
True.
like you're doing currently.
I'm just letting it.
We
I'm just
look
letting
like
it go.
We look like the character creation screen if there was only 2 options: beard or no beard, glasses or no glasses.
You got some points there.
Tim plus Porty for Barb?
No way. That's way too much. Porty, and then it's out of balance.
But Porty's not young.
True.
You know.
But think about the merchandising rights that I've been
Plus-
telling you to fucking make forever. Make some Porty merch. It sells well.
I know. We're getting around to it.
That's the
When he
opposite of it. I
gets-
mean, we've
it's
already
like-
burned it. How many people are in the chat right now who don't even know what Porty is? Because you guys had to move here. Get out of the house.
You love it. You said I quote, I love this place. I never want to go
Kevin,
back.
I want to see a Porty image up here the rest of the screen. The rest of the show, please.
The thing is, if you gave them Porty, you would never know when Porty passes. They could just keep making new Porties and putting them on camera, and you wouldn't really know the difference.
That's a good point.
If you smell them, you'd know.
Sure.
But as long as you don't smell them,
I do know Porty's musk.
Yeah, you would. You'd be fine with it. It's like when you're a kid and your mom just gives you another goldfish, and you're like, "That's clearly
That's
that
not
fish."
Porty at all. You trying to trick me? Put up a dog that isn't my dog?
Specimen.
Who would know?
Now I'm insulted. Stop getting random wiener dogs and put up my wiener dog. Oh.
There
God
you
damn
go.
it.
This one's got the good eyes.
He's so cute.
It's not Portillo, and you know it's not Portillo.
Great ears.
He's got
Look at
good
his big,
eyes,
beautiful
though.
ears.
He's looking the right way.
I'm pretty sure that's a
Porty
female
looks
dog.
the right way fine. I'll
He's
have
the
you
best.
know.
If the right way is 2 objects at the polar opposite of each
That
other.
is not how his eyes work.
Vacant.
Vacant, yes. Wrong direction, no.
Slightly scared, really confused. Portillo.
Kevin, I won't do the show until you put up.
Kevin, I want to go to Los Jalapenos, verdad. Can you please bring up a picture of Portillo for the back?
Because I just have those saved everywhere.
Google
Are
Portillo.
you
Kinda
fucking
Funny.
kidding me? You're Googling Wiener Dog, just Google Portillo, Greg Miller, you'll find the fucking image. P. Davis, 32. Bongos!
Bongos. 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 You know, he doesn't, sometimes he just like, ignores us. Oh!
This is Brandon. Colin and Greg Live. Thank you so much for your support here on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. Remember, Colin and Greg Live comes to you each and every weekday here on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. Gives you all the nerdy news you need to know about before jumping to the chat to answer your questions, comments, and concerns. In between those two questions of things, we come in and we answer your questions, comments, and things like that. Tell a ghost story.
I'm a leprechaun. I'm going to eat her fucking face.
Hope everyone's well. Kevin, how do you feel today?
Fucking.
Use your
Fucking
camera.
devastated.
Use your camera. It's gonna be a heavy camera episode for you, Kevin.
Devastated. I mean, there's really not that much to talk about. Shit went badly. Very, very badly. So,
Well, for you, I guess.
for the country.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, that's the thing. We'll see. We have no idea what this lunatic opinions are on things. So, cool.
Okay, Greg,
What?
how do you feel?
Oh, terrible.
You look like you just crawled out of a train car with your beard.
Oh, you like that? The hobo beard?
Yeah, yeah.
Kevin, give me a hobo beard, Cam. Go to Skycam. We'll do the Skycam check-in every day until I cut it.
Looks
Hi.
good.
You're terrifying.
Yeah?
A little scary.
Maybe that's what you need now. That's what you like, America.
I wore the shirt today to remind you that it didn't have to be this way.
Yeah, where were you? Mitt? This could have been your year, Mitt.
The big lesson. So let's talk. We'll have a conversation. We'll get into the chat. You can tip us if you have something pertinent to say. We'll have a dialogue, the three of us here in the studio. For people that don't know, obviously, you must be under a rock. I think you all know Donald Trump is the president-elect, will be the president of the United States, the 45th president of the United States. So a lot of the prognostication was wrong. The polls were wrong. And I warned you guys about this. I fucking warned you. I warned you. And a lot of people dismissed it. What did I say on the Game Over Greggy show? The polling is skewed. There are a ton of secret Trump voters. You know? And you cannot take your foot off the gas. And what happened? What happened with Clinton supporters and with voters? You took your foot off the gas. You started talking about how much you can run up the score instead of just winning. You talked about how you might take the Senate back and the House, which is incredible. No, you're never going to take the House back. You know, complacency. Almost 50% of the applicable voters didn't even vote.
Yeah, I saw that.
And you took your foot off the gas, and you fucking lost. You know. I mean, that's the way it happened, and it wasn't like a Southern coup. It wasn't like there's a pretty broad electorate that voted Trump. You know, like it's just.
What I was surprised is of all your prognostication, all your speech, all the talk, you know what I mean? Like you were pretty sure it seemed like Clinton was going to win. What I'm surprised is that what you said came true, but in reverse. Where you talked about, leading into this, you kept talking about how, holy shit, what if the Republican Party just had a likable candidate? They would clown out Hillary Clinton. They would do all these different things. When in reality, when you get to the polls, it happened the other way around. What if the Democrats would have had one likable, not email, not Benghazi, not whatever, not all the baggage of her husband candidate? You know what I mean? What if Joe Biden? What if smiling Joe Biden ran?
Joe Biden wanted to destroy Trump. There's a large swath of the country that doesn't want to be told what to think, that got tired of being told that they were sexist and racist and misogynist and bigoted, that got tired of Washington, D.C. betraying them, that got tired of people on news channels telling them how to vote, that got tired of looking at polls that did not reflect the reality on the ground in their states, that got tired of reading Facebook about how bad Trump was and how everyone that voted for him was a racist and a misogynist, and they know people that voted for Trump and that doesn't sync with their reality. So there was a backlash, a major backlash, right? This is exactly what happened in the UK with Brexit and in the 2015 election. This is what happened in the 2014 midterm election. And I'm going to tell you right now, if people don't learn how to talk to each other and learn how to relate to each other in different kinds of ways, this isn't the end. This is a massive backlash against liberalism, against political correctness, and against the establishment. That's what it is. And like, if people want to cast blame and point at everyone, that's fine. I say point at your fucking selves. That's what I say. You know?
I agree with that. I agree. Point at yourselves. We all are at fault here. There's a large group of people that voted for Trump. That they're being called all these things, but guess what? They all ignored a bigot. They all ignored a fucking misogynist. Like that. Those are things that are undeniable. Like, he is a bad fucking person. And not in the like, oh, Hitler's a bad person because look at, like, we have videos of him talking about fucking awful shit.
Yeah,
and they I'm sorry, I'm almost done.
No, please, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
They ignored him. They ignored those parts of who he is because of the shit he said. They're so upset with the system that they fucking bought his snake oil. Because that's what he is. He's walking around saying he's going to do all these... Let's see when the fucking wall goes up. You know, let's see what...
We all know that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I know, but lots of people believe it is.
We do need to secure the border. We do need to secure the border. That's an issue that's very important to me. Illegal immigration is an important issue to me. But that's not going to happen. I don't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, I mean, that's it. Like, there's this large community of people that are so tired of getting fucked by our system. Guess what? Have you guys ever seen a con man? I have. I've seen people come in, lie, get money, and then fucking walk away. And that's what we're getting here. And it's so sad that these people that are getting used to getting fucked are going to get fucked again. And God, I hope I'm wrong. I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that this fucking guy can make something great. He's got everything he needs. A united Senate and a united House of Representatives.
In that regard, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm not happy about that.
But I mean,
at least we have completely uniform government that sides more with the way I feel. I'm not going to sit here and act like that's a bad thing. Now we get Supreme Court justices. Now we get, and that's the thing that everyone's...
Up to 3.
Yeah.
Up to 3.
You're going to get 3 moderate Republican justices like
Because that's what's trending right now with politics, moderateness, right?
They're going to need Senate Democrats to go along, or they're not going to get anyone. They're not going to be able to put fucking a Ku Klux Klan member on the fucking court, Kevin. This is what I'm talking about.
That's not what I'm saying.
This is what I'm talking about.
That's not what I'm saying.
This is what I'm talking about, though, with the hyperbole and why things are out of control. Because I don't know what's going to happen. Trump could end up being a fucking complete fascist. He's obviously a demagogue in some respect, but he could just say, like, we're not going to have Congress anymore. But the thing is that I believe more in the system, that it will correct itself. What people are really expressing today, and I understand the distress, but what people are expressing today is an imperial presidency, the likes of which the world has never seen, and that there are no checks and balances, that there's no minority party that's going to keep him in check, which happens every time, and that the man is just going to suddenly just fuck the entire place up. Like, I just believe in the system. I don't believe in Trump, but the system either exists or it doesn't. And like, Clinton lost. The people spoke. You know, the Senate is Republican still. The House is just as Republican as it was 2 days ago. The people spoke. And everyone out there is acting like, like it was this great injustice, and maybe you look at it like that. But what about all the 55 million people that voted for him? And everyone they represent? It's just like, I don't understand the fear, and people say it's because I'm a white man, and maybe that's true, right? Maybe that's true. But I don't understand how people think that a man is just going to walk into the White House and just put everyone in concentration camps. He's going to walk into the White House and just deport 14 million people. That's not the way the fucking system works.
And that's not the fear. That's not the fear. The fear is, the fear and realization that people are coming to is that a man that said Mexico is sending all its criminals and fucking terrible people and, let the Russian government fucking hack shit. Oh, it's not him. Oh, this Ku Klux Klan leader is fucking promoting me? Great. Oh, no, I didn't know. Like, the problem isn't all this shit is gonna fucking fall apart tomorrow. The problem is that all these people voted for him. Like the sad that like they were able to ignore all these horrible shit, and no one can deny the shit that he said is horrible.
Yeah, I know that, Kevin. I left my party over him. Why is that lost on everybody? Everyone's talking at me like I didn't fucking know this. This is the thing.
Nobody's talking.
This is the thing that really annoys me. I fucking left. I left. But I was like, this is unacceptable. The moment, first of all, we were all wrong about it, but I was like, this is not acceptable. I'm the one who said that. I said that from the beginning. So everyone pointing fingers at me on Twitter and all these kind of places being like, your third party vote fucked everything up. You didn't do enough to stop him. Fuck you. You know, and I'm not saying that to you. I'm saying to all those people out there. I left a party that I once worshipped because of him. I cast my vote and bounced, and then I voted third party. I did everything I could. I got everyone I possibly could to say, like, do not vote for either of them. And that was the thing. And that's the thing that fucking annoys the shit out of me the most, is everyone on Twitter attacking me. You know? Like I did something. I was there from the very beginning sounding the klaxon. Saying, this isn't right. This man's not a Republican. He doesn't speak for me. And I bounced. What else should I have done? You know? Greg, what do you have to say?
I mean, this is the problem. This is why I didn't want to come to work today. This is why I would, don't like this at all. This is where the country's at. This is the problem, that we can't have conversations about anything. It is all hyperbole. It is all screaming someone's a criminal, or they didn't do anything or whatever. And now we got to go. And so that's the worst part about it, right? Is that it's the first time I can ever think about it just being like, man, does it suck to be an American? And that sucks as much as I love being an American. But like, especially now with like a Canadian girlfriend, where the first time I was just like, fuck, man, like I don't know if you'd ever want to move here, or if I could ever tell you to move here or anything like that. Now, granted, I'm saying that in the not even Trump himself, just in the fact of like, we're this divided and it's this fucked up. And it's just, even if Hillary won, this would still be the problem. We would still have this difference here, this separation right now of people where we can't have a conversation, and that's the problem. That no one can ever talk about politics and not have it become this. And it's been this way for years. This isn't the first time. And so the hard thing now is the liberals, the liberal echo chamber we live in, being, people of the arts or whatever, creators, that kind of thing, the people we see on Twitter now, you just got punched in the face, and it's so hard to ask in this moment everyone to calm the fuck down and rise above and not be what we all were so mad at the Republican Conservative Party before, right? Where how many people are talking about like last night it happens, Trump gets elected, and they're like, you know what, at least there's gonna be scandals, at least we'll see him impeached, at least there's gonna be this, don't forget he's on trial for rape in December and all these different things. And it's hard to balance that anger with then remember how angry everyone was when Rush Limbaugh said he wanted Obama to fail when Obama took office, and we're all like, what the fuck, he's the president. That's the hard fucking pill to swallow this morning, is that I'm anxious to get away from today, away from this, not to get away from the issues, but to try to see if we can get on the same page of, all right, he's the president-elect. He is the president. He now is out for the good of the country. We have to, and I'm not saying we don't look at him, we don't have checks and balances, we don't worry about what he's doing or anything, but we can't, it's the same thing. I mean, the problem with Romney, right, why I didn't vote for Romney was that I felt he was a turncoat, right, and the fact of like, when he's governor, he doesn't mind the gay stuff, he doesn't mind the abortion stuff, whatever, I'm chill. Then he comes to run and he has to hard correct to the Republican Christian movement of like, no, gay's bad, abortion's bad. And I was like, all right, well, fuck you then. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know where you stand, and that's what I'm not about. So now it's like, who is the real Trump? Is the Trump who was saying all these horrible things and doing all these crazy things? Like, and it's...
I'm listening, I'm
oh, no, I know you're not ignoring me at all. I'm just, going off the cuff here. It's something we've said before, and I'm not putting it aside, obviously, but the grab her by the pussy thing and all these different things, right? We've talked about it before, that if a camera was rolling on us all the time, we've said stupid shit when we're getting ready to do this. No, I don't think we've ever said that, but
everyone has said stupid, calamitous shit.
Exactly, and so it's like, I'm not going to sit here and have that be what I'm going to flay him for or whatever. And so then it just becomes of what is going to happen. Like, you see these problems of like, today they were talking about like, I forget who, I think it was somebody from his campaign, but I'm just, there's like so much fucking information out there right now. Talking about like, some plan, I forget what they call it, but his day one plan of like they wanted to sit him down for a few hours and have him sign executive orders undoing Obama's executive orders or whatever, right? And it's like, is that hyperbole? Is that the real thing? Is that what it's going to be? And like where it gets scary for me isn't grab her by the pussy, it isn't the wall, it is the thing of like, well, what does this mean for Roe versus Wade? And what does this mean for gay marriage? And like, you know what I mean? Can we get that far into getting it undone? And yeah, there's checks and balances, right? But here's the problem with the argument, is the fact that in the same way Bernie was important, in the same way Trump is important, is the fact that, yeah, there is this fed up. And this is what I've talked about with you for years, right? Of like, man, I don't care about politics because every politician's a fucking son of a bitch who just doesn't, it is this thing owned by big corporations, the super PACs, all this other shit. You can't trust a fucking thing they say. You have Hillary, who is that. And I'm not saying, Kevin, I'm not saying based on...
I understand what you're saying.
Okay, so I'm just saying who she is, right? And so then you have Trump, who comes to do this. And you have people voting for him because they want to beat the system. They want to get away from everything. But when we bring in the new guy who's, going to be able to, who's going against the system, what does that mean with the system? And that's where it gets scary, where you're talking about people are panicking about all these, the hyperbole, the swing back of, like Rami Ismail, right? He was talking today about how, he opened his DMs or whatever, and a foreign dev DM'd him concerned about coming here for GDC.
Right, which is ridiculous.
And that's but here, it's...
Sorry.
But here's the thing. I agree. I'm like, whoa, an extreme reaction.
Yeah, you would say so.
But the problem is that it's the same thing everywhere else. And this is what I keep trying to grab something for me to try to hold on as the world seems to be spinning so quickly right now. And you want to panic and you want to think everything's the worst thing in the world. The problem is that like Brexit happens. And then we immediately start hearing these stories of like, oh, they insulted their server and said to do this. Oh, they drove by and screamed. Last night I saw a tweet of like some woman, and I think she was a minority, was walking in a car, screamed something at her about Trump being in power now. And of course, Trump's giving his victory speech and someone in the crowd yells, "Kill Obama." And it's like, it's the bad apples spoil the bunch for sure and make it seem worse than it is and but it's what we talk about even with guns, right? Of how many fucking millions of guns there are in the United States, and there's not a shooting every day on every street. There's not a
there are
mass
more
shooting
guns than
every
are
day.
people.
And it's this thing of like, I don't think if you would have brought in Hillary Clinton, these problems would have gone away, that you wouldn't have seen this, that we would be sitting here talking about hope and justice and everything's going to be fixed now and everything's good. We'd have the same argument, but the problem is that for our echo chamber, not you, but no, our industry echo chamber of liberalism would be the same way of it would be the conservatives now spouting off about how everything's about to go to fucking hell and and we'd all be like, well, no, blah, blah. And so you understand that on the other side of the line, there's the conservative people who are saying the exact same thing. No one.
All right, I gotta stop you there real quick. There was no one on the conservative side that was saying the amount of hyperbolic shit that is being said right now about Donald Trump. Now, I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong or true or false, but I was in those trenches and that wasn't being said. So, like, I was there. Like, I was there. I was there after Romney lost. I was there after McCain lost. I didn't even vote for McCain. I remember what people were saying. People were scared and they were saying terrible shit about Obama, but they weren't calling into question the complete ability of the system to function. That's a different kind of thing, and that's something I take great offense about, because the system has survived way worse than Donald Trump. And I hate to tell people like that. Like I said, maybe I'm totally wrong, and Donald Trump ends up being the fascist dictator that some people say he is. I hope not. I just don't understand how that happens. Like, no one has actually explained to me. I'm like, how does that happen? I want someone to explain to me how that happens in the United States. Use a little bit of history. Let's talk about the Weimar Republic. Let's talk about all these things. And we can figure out, how does a man get elected president by 55 million people and then become a dictator that puts you in prison camps and deports 14 million people and removes your right to do all of these things? How does that happen? Want someone to explain it.
I don't think that that's the fear. I don't think that that's where all those tweets and messages are coming from. I think it's the exact opposite of Obama's first run, where he was elected with the campaign of hope, and like when he got elected, I had hope. And now it's the opposite. Trump was elected with fucking anger and hatred, and
now the counterbalance to that. Oh, I'm sorry, you want to keep
No,
going?
I'm just saying, like, I don't think the world's gonna suddenly change, but it's fucking terrifying that that's what won.
Sure.
Anger and hatred.
Yeah,
Sure.
but you have to understand that, and this is the thing that I think is important, it's imperative for us to understand this, if this narrative doesn't change about the people that, like, the vitriol about Trump voters, I've talked about that. We did a whole episode about this a month ago or so. I'm disturbed by it. Because in my mind, first of all, I know a lot of Trump voters. In my family, friends, know a lot of people. Long Island voted for Trump. Long Island, not exactly a hick place, if you guys didn't know. One of the most affluent places in the entire country. They voted for Trump, right? It's not just a redneck, racist, misogynist group of people that voted for him. He won white women by 20 points. You know, like, clearly the narrative didn't work. The question is, what is the objective truth? And the reason that I'm disturbed about this is because the truth is talked about subjectively as if a group of people, 55 million people, didn't know what they were doing. They're all fucking stupid. They're all racists. Even though many of their states voted for Obama twice, they're all now apparently racists. They're misogynists, they're bigots. And it doesn't make sense. The narrative about this group of people doesn't make sense. There are, of course, bad apples amongst them. Of course. Of course there are. There might be a bigger per capita group of bad apples amongst this group of voters than we see with Romney or McCain or Bush. Sure. Of course. But what's not lost on me is that within there are tens of millions of good, hardworking people that aren't racists, that aren't bigots, that don't give a fuck who you marry, that don't give a fuck if you abort your child. They don't care. They just want a job. They just want trade to be fair. They just want an immigration policy. Why can't these people vote without being castigated and pointed fingers and told them that they're wrong? This is why Clinton lost. I don't understand why people don't understand that. And if this narrative continues, the Republicans will win again. Because now they realize that this is the thing I tweeted out yesterday that got retweeted like 2,000 times because it was true. Clinton had the entire media, the entire entertainment industry, and much more money. And she lost. Why? Because people don't like being told that they're wrong, that they don't know what's good for them, and that they don't know how to vote for themselves. So keep pointing fingers at everyone. And the midterms will be an equal bloodbath in 2018. I don't understand how that particular point is lost on people. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying a vote for Trump was a good vote. I'm not saying a vote for Clinton was a bad vote. What I'm saying is there's a reason we got here. There's a reason we got here. And it has nothing to do with these fucking issues. It has to do with a struggle against the power system, against the liberal elite, against the coastal elite, against the capital, against the media. They all gave the finger to these people for years. And they gave the finger back. And if you want to go and call Wisconsin and Michigan and Pennsylvania and all these places racist, misogynist, go ahead. I think you're wrong. I think we all know that, right? So I really feel like there has to be more understanding on both sides. But I'm disturbed about the characterization of the people that voted their conscience. And
But is that just happening again in the echo chamber is my thing. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, as I talked about in the thing, I know people who are like, yeah, I'm voting for Trump and fuck all Muslims. And I'm like, whoa. But yeah, obviously the majority, I mean, he's won. You know what I mean? This happened. This didn't happen by hook and crook. Obviously people are there. But my point is that I think there's 1,000 fucking million tweets about it last night, right? But the one that I think summed it up the best was somebody tweeted out, Trump supporters aren't racist, Trump supporters aren't racist, Trump supporters aren't racist. And somebody quote tweeted and said, Trump supporters are voting for a racist, Trump supporter. I think that's the issue it's when you're like, these people are voting and they don't give a fuck about gay marriage and they don't give a fuck about abortion. Well, that's great. The guy they're voting for does, and that's the disconnect.
No, he doesn't. I mean, that's the other thing, and that's the other thing. This is something I was talking about with Aaron yesterday, and this is important. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I want to get this in, Kevin, before you give your point.
No, it's okay.
No, Trump never brings up social issues. Trump was the first, and I remember watching this and I was astounded. Trump at the Republican convention was like, said something about how he wants equality for gay and lesbian and bisexual and transgender people. He said it at the Republican convention. Why is that lost on everyone? You understand what I'm saying? I understand Mike Pence is a fucking maniac. He's the vice president. He's useless. He has no power.
For
You
now,
understand?
I was looking at Trump last night, and I'm like, because I remember when Obama got elected, and they did that whole like, let's see what he would look like in 4 years, and I'm like, oh man, Trump already looks like a fucking old man. What the hell's
And,
gonna happen?
and it
to him?
doesn't matter what Mike Pence thinks because then you have to sync that
system.
up with other things. Roe versus Wade, for instance, isn't going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. Gay marriage isn't going anywhere. I don't understand why people are so scared. You think that's really going to happen?
But those
Like,
were those landslide victories?
No,
for
they
him?
weren't. But
no,
what I'm
they
saying
were
is
very close.
They were close,
Very
Kevin.
close.
Well, Roe versus Wade, first of all, has been established for many years, and there have been conservative courts since then, and they have not overturned it. Second of all, in terms of the gay marriage argument, which could be kicked back to the states, then the states will just say like, okay, it's a 10th Amendment right, we're just going to legalize gay marriage. It's the same thing that abortion happens with abortion. It's just what I'm saying is it's the same thing that's happening with marijuana. What I'm saying is that all is lost. If we defederalize some of these decisions, then the states are just going to make the same decisions anyway.
Some states will.
Yes, some states will, and some states I guess won't. But I believe in the federal protection for gay marriage. This is why when people are coming at me being like, you're not socially liberal. You know, I am socially liberal. I was for gay marriage 10 years before Barack Obama was for gay marriage. I've been for a woman's right to choose for many years. And I really do feel like those are established fundamental things for the rights of the people. I think that they're exclusionary, I think that they're discriminatory, and I think that that's unconstitutional, and I think it's illegal, and I think it's wrong. But these weren't issues that Trump ran on. So Trump ran on the economy, and Trump ran on immigration. So we have to, I want to just give it, Hillary Clinton said today, and I think she was right. First of all, I think her concession speech was 12 hours too late, but it was, and I thought that was very shitty of them, and I think we can all agree on that. But
oh yeah, she should have done it last night.
it was totally cowardly, and it was totally ridiculous.
When they didn't do it, I was like, oh, they're not going to give up the ground. They want all the votes counted. And then like 20 minutes later, like she just called to concede. I was like, oh, that's weird.
So the interesting thing about it is she said this morning, and I thought it was a good speech. I thought she gave a very, very nice speech, considering it looked like she wanted to burst out into tears, and I respect that. She said, we owe him the benefit of the doubt. And I agree.
Obama said something similar, right? Like now we all are Trump supporters. No, he didn't say that, but you know what I mean? We're all behind him on this. He's the president-elect.
I think that we have to just. I don't want to jump to any conclusions. When I broke party lines and voted for Obama in 2008, it wasn't an easy thing for me to do. It was a principled vote because I fucking hated Sarah Palin. It's a very similar thing to the reason that I hated Trump. They're idiots. At the outset, I actually think Trump's sometimes the smartest man in the room. And I think that you can easily make that case now. But when I made that principled vote for Obama, I didn't agree with almost anything he said. What I thought was, this is a different kind of man. This is a different kind of person. I want to see what happens. And what happened was, I didn't like what I saw, and I didn't vote for him again. You know? But at that time, more than 10% of Republicans broke party lines to vote for Obama, under the same auspices that there's nothing he's saying we agree with. It's just, we don't really like what's going on. We don't really like John McCain that much, and we certainly don't like Sarah Palin, and we should try to figure out if there's a way forward for us to work together, to be post-partisan, as the talk was in 2007, 2008, which obviously didn't work out very well.
And that's something you said earlier, and I forget, but it jogs my memory over here. And the fact that, yeah, like, oh, you're talking about hope. You know what I mean? That was the Obama thing, right? And I remember being so hopeful in 2007 when we voted. No, 2008? That was the last one. Whatever. Voting for him, and that, because especially for me, somebody who was jaded, that all politicians are the same. This is all just going to be the same bullshit. It really doesn't matter who's in charge. And then when he came along, it was like, oh shit, okay, here we go. This guy is going to do this, and like, he's been a more fun president for sure. He's been a presidential president that I like seeing or whatever, but I don't feel like I've seen the sweeping changes I wanted, the unification of the country.
It wasn't possible.
And so and that's the whole thing. He's like, then it was like, the Trump speech last night was going to be I'm not even Trump or Clinton's speech last night was going to be so cookie cutter of, it's time to heal and it's time to do this and blah. Like, no one's actually fucking making action about it. And that's the problem of like, why, like, I am a person who hates the Capitol and doesn't believe in any of these politicians. And what I've said from the start with it, right, is like, the best thing about Bernie and Trump, however the election was going to end, is that I hope this has shown every fucking career politician out there that like, okay, we need to be real human beings. And when it comes around, whether it's for the fucking mayor or for the next presidential election, hey, I'm a normal person, and let's talk about things, and let's talk about issues, and let's talk about what's happening. And here, I'm gonna say something, and yep, there is a video of me fucking smoking weed or whatever, and I'm a fucking human being, because that's not what we've gotten for so long, and that's why Hillary wasn't looked at as this awesome candidate because she is still that old, and then Trump's this new but so skewed off in a way I don't think people wanted it to be.
And I really do encourage people to really think about the way they're talking to and treating other people on both sides of the aisle. And that's the only thing that I think we can take away from this. The other thing I'll say is this, and this is not a unique thought, although I've said it before, Bill Maher said a similar thing, other people that said a thing. When the media, which is biased and in the pocket of the Democratic Party, period, when they said that Bush was Hitler, that McCain was Mussolini, that Romney was Tojo, and that all turned out to be false, well, you probably should have saved those attacks for the man who actually was scary. That's your fault for believing those things, and that's why the people didn't listen this time, because they were lied to over and over and over again. You see George W. Bush now holding hands with Michelle Obama at things, and they're all friendly and stuff like that, and you're like, huh. He hasn't said a word. He hasn't said anything. He hasn't done anything bad in 8 years. Just sat there graciously taking the fucking punches to the face, the punches to the gut, has said nothing, has not defended himself.
He makes paintings, though, too.
He makes some paintings.
I want to do a Portillo, and I've asked Jenna Bush on Twitter to talk to her father. She has not yet.
So, to me, it's like, I feel like everyone looks at them and are like, oh, that's not. McCain, a war hero who was in fucking captivity for 5 years, talked about it as if he was going to end women's right to exist, as if he was going to. And then that turned out McCain's just a totally normal guy. Mitt Romney comes along. Everyone's like, Mitt Romney hates women. Mitt Romney hates minorities. It's like, what? Are you nuts?
Yeah.
And then the man who actually might feel this way comes along. And everyone's like, oh, Hitler. And like, everyone's like, well, but you called Mitt Romney Hitler. You called John McCain Hitler. You called George W. Bush Hitler. We don't believe you. Take some fucking responsibility.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it goes to every person, right? It goes to everyone talking about hyperbole. It's come up a lot in this show, right? And I think that's the problem. When you don't treat the opponent with respect, that's what happens. That's how it gets out of the way. It's like when you were calling all the Bernie Sanders supporters the most sensitive people you'd ever seen, right? That angers them and shuts them down to ever listen to you.
Yeah, someone says in the chat, Mitt Romney had a binder full of women. It's like, what? Like, what is that? Mm-hmm. What does that mean? The character assassinations got so old that the man who was rife for character assassination just bounced off of them. Because everyone's like, well, we don't really trust the media anymore. We don't like the media is wrong, and we hate them. The media lost. Otis Spunkmeyer gave us a tip and said, what may be most depressing to me is climate change. He will ignore the stipulations of the Paris Agreement, cancel Obama's clean energy executive actions, and appoint oil tycoons to high positions. It's true. The reason that I think this is going to happen mostly is because it's going to stimulate jobs. That said, I think it's important to keep a check on the environment. I think it's important to protect the environment. Let's remember, although the Republican Party of today is detached from the Republican Party of the late 19th century, that the first people that protected the environment were Ulysses S. Grant, a Republican, and Teddy Roosevelt, a Republican. So we should try to get back to those roots. That's a populist root. Party could come full circle in that way. We'll see. Next tip comes from my dog Nick 96, who says, hi guys, now with California, Nevada, and Massachusetts legalizing marijuana, I vote we form a crystal bassoon orchestra. I'd also like to elect you, Colin, as first chair. It's possible. It's crazy how things have changed in Massachusetts, particularly so rapidly. When I went to college at Northeastern in Massachusetts, it was illegal to have anything with mandatory minimum sentences, if I remember correctly. It has swung a massive way in 10 years to legalizing it there, and I congratulate them for that, and I congratulate California for rectifying the mistake of 2010 when we voted down legal marijuana. Marijuana is going to be good for the economy. There is nothing wrong with smoking marijuana if you are an adult, a productive person. It's not going to hurt you, and it's not going to kill you. Alcohol is 10 times more destructive, 100 times more destructive than marijuana. Plus, who doesn't like getting stoned every once in a while? The next tip comes from Laughing Surrey. It says, very torn. Part of me wants this to be a disaster so that people voted Trump can realize this was a terrible idea. But I live here too, so I should want Trump to be the best president ever. It is a conundrum. I always root, I've been in some losing presidential elections myself, and I always try to root for the person that's in there just because it does benefit all of us if he does well. So hopefully Trump is the best president ever. I doubt that's going to happen. Caleb LaChapelle gave us 2 tips. The same message. It says, hey guys, this was my first election and I got to cover it on live broadcast for student media. I heard a group say yesterday, quote, well, the real Americans voted for Clinton, end quote, referring to the coasts. And then I lost my shit on them. I decided that my job would be for the next 4 years to make people civil again. We drank the Kool-Aid on this election, and it cannot happen again. Thanks, guys. I think you are right. If you think you're better than someone because you voted for Clinton over Trump, you're wrong. If you think you're better than someone because you're from New York or from Massachusetts or from California than someone from Tennessee or Alabama or Mississippi, you're wrong. Just want to make that very clear. The thing about Trump that's interesting to me, just as a political kind of lover, is that we always wanted someone like him. Not someone who says the things he says, but someone who's just not, who's self-funded and who just doesn't have any political experience, because I really want to see how it works. I don't agree with the notion that you can't run the country like a business. I just don't agree with it. The reason I don't agree with it is because it's never happened. So let's see. If it doesn't work, then I'll say, okay, we can't quite run it like this. But I agree. I think that it's important to try different things because we do have a lot of stagnation politically.
100%.
Laughing Surrey says, serious question, would people hate Hillary this much if she were a man? I feel like they might even hate her more. The reason I say that is because I think because she's a woman, I think that actually garnered her a lot of sympathy with women, right? So women typically vote liberal overall, but for instance, that can attract some independent women, that can attract people that just want to see the first woman president. I think it was probably a net benefit for her. That said, I'm sure that there are people that hate her just because she's a woman. I think we'll see the first woman president very soon. So I don't think that, it's not Hillary Clinton, it'll be someone else. Frosty Danny says, Colin, I always love and respect your opinions, and I know you're a good person. Please be positive and have empathy for other people who are scared. P.S. Greg, you look great, and Kevin's courage/opinion. That's fair enough. I just think that people are being hyperbolic. I mean, that's just it. Like, I understand that there's some things to be concerned about. The world is not ending. We will be okay. Look at the way the markets rebounded today. Right? Like, it's honestly the same thing that happened with Brexit. Now the British pound is weak, but the markets are stable. Not all is lost. This is how you actually, it's the reaction to this situation that could actually be worse than the situation itself and make it worse. That's my opinion. Alker gave us a tip and said, this wave of fear has to stop. We have to look at this as a sign to come together and fix what the system has become. I love and care about you all. We still have each other. No POTUS can take that. I agree. Tasman9293 gives tips. Something I feel is rarely brought up is how little of America votes every election year. Neither are supported by people. Yeah, there's a ton of apathy. I've been saying that for a long time. 50% of the numbers aren't quite that high. I mean, we're talking about people that are very old. I mean, you're talking about not all of this 50% of people are capable of voting
Young
or
viral
don't care.
folks, right?
But yeah, there is a massive swath of people that just don't care, and that is a bummer. And this is on them too. The Crazy Psycho gave us a tip and said, "Hey guys, dumb request here. Can the three of you join in a group hug right now? Thanks, Kevin." Why are you moaning? What's wrong with you?
I mean, I'm sad. Like,
Come here, let the hug cheer you up.
Is the
It's the day after. We're upset now.
I've lost elections. I know.
Dust ourselves off.
I know, but like you didn't. Fucking, this dude who ran with such.
We'll
fucking
dust ourselves off.
volatile shit.
We'll wallow in it today. We'll dust ourselves off. We'll make America great again tomorrow.
The wall just got 10 feet higher.
Not in the catchphrase hat way. And was there an explanation of why there was a hat in a glass box on stage yesterday? Colin, I'm looking at you on this one.
I saw it, but I don't understand it.
Was it the first hat
It must
that
have
they
been the
ever
prototype,
did?
yeah.
Like, I did not understand why the hat
I
was
love
there
if they
in a
just had it
glass
there like that
box.
for no reason, which would even be better.
I was waiting, maybe he was going to mention it in the speech.
The trained chimp gave us a tip. Speaking of trained chimps, 11,000 people voted for Harambe. We can agree that governments worldwide don't work anymore, but us millennials just look around trying to find someone to fix it instead of taking responsibility. Are we lost? I think so. The younger population is more liberal, more progressive, more globalist. So I think these things are going to change regardless. But there was a significant young vote for Trump as well. Not enough. I mean, if only young people voted, Clinton would have won.
I saw that. If only
landslide.
millennials, it was like all blue except for like a few red at the top.
The thing that's important about this, Greg, though, to me, is that you have to stay activated. The election's over now. I'm into politics every day of the year, regardless of what's going on. Stay activated. This is how elections are won or lost. This is how Obama built a coalition to win against Romney. It was because those people were already there and installed and ready to go. Now, they didn't vote at the height that they did in 2008, but it's worth noting that if you're disenchanted and just give up and you want to leave America, I mean, that's cowardly and stupid. Fight. You know what I mean? Like, fight for what you believe in. I fought for what I believed in for many years. I still do. You should fight for what you believe in, too. If you really believe this is wrong, then do something about it. Do something about it. It's 2 years before a third of the Senate's up. 2 years before the entire House is up. If you want to do something about it, do something about it. Don't let that message be lost on you. Marius gave us a tip and said, props to Kevin for standing up and voicing his opinion and engaging in discussion with Colin. The other guys are usually pretty quiet when it comes to those discussions. Love you all very much. I agree. I think Kevin is a good voice. I think Kevin's smart. I think Kevin knows what he's talking about.
He cares.
He cares. I think he's engaged, and I think that he knows how to argue and debate, which is a lost art for a lot of people. Soul Porpoise gave us a tip and said, hope this is time for everyone to gain some perspective. It's easy and cowardly to point fingers and call the other crazy. The other felt similarly in 08. Time to understand each other. Agreed.
Will this be the wake-up call, though? Probably not.
The ominous anal...
We need another 9/11. That'll be the only thing to unify the country.
Nice.
That is not a fucking joke.
No, I know.
There has to be another national disaster. There has to be one. I mean, North Korea has to fire on us, and then we could all be like, wait a second, fuck that guy. But then we get back into the same thing where we were with Cheney, Rumsfeld, and Bush, right? Where we all believe him hook, line, and sinker, and then later on we're like, ugh, we kind of regret that decision. Real quick, I'm Jordan says, for someone to wish for another 9/11 to fix things is absolutely disgusting. If you think that, you are part of the problem. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we're not going to come together as a country without a common enemy. I'm not wishing for it. I'm letting you know what's going to happen.
Soul Porpoise gave us another tip, and I know I just said no pointing fingers, but I can't help but blame the state of the country on years and years of shaming the less the progressive ideology rather than educating and understanding. Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I think that there's a massive backlash against progressivism and 21st century ideological goose-stepping liberalism. I mean, that's because that's what it's become. You can't say anything. You can't have a joke. You can't say no funny guy, no funny business, guys. I mean, people got mad at Electronic Arts for making World War I memes. 95% of the people that are mad about it don't even know what the fuck happened in World War I, don't know when the years was fought, don't know who the belligerents were. They're just mad to be mad. This is a backlash against that. You guys are hopefully a dying breed with that bullshit because it is destructive to polity.
You saw it recently with that Razor thing. I don't think we were on the show together when that happened. I don't think we talked about it on the show, but did you see this? Where Razor, Mac put out their thing where they don't have a SD
S to
readers.
the D, S my D.
You call yourself a pro, suck my D. And people flipped out about it. Razor took it out and apologized, and then the other side flipped out about them apologizing for it. Like, why are you apologizing for this? Who the fuck cares? It was a joke on Twitter. That's where we're at.
I agree. I don't think they should have apologized personally. But
no, I thought it was a funny joke.
I mean, I think it was a terrible joke, but like, why would you apologize? I don't think it's funny at all, but like, why would you apologize?
I mean, it runs around saying suck the D and kick the P, or kick the P, suck the D. I don't know.
If that's what upsets you during the day, if that's like your big thing that you're upset about during the day, that's why Hillary Clinton also lost. Just reminding you of that. The Ghost One gave us a tip and said, I'm with Greg. I couldn't sleep last night because of how angry I was. I'm angry to see what this is doing to everyone. The social climate is disturbing. Pop out the crystal bassoon and love everyone.
Legal!
Yep, we legalized it in California, Massachusetts, etc.
So I can start eating it and using suicide holes whenever I want?
Yep, you can start eating and use suicide holes. Josh,
2018 is when I gotta wait for?
That's
for
what
legal,
I heard.
Legal puff?
I heard that, well, I think it's decriminal. I think it's basically passed. I don't think you're going to get arrested for it now. Now there needs to be an apparatus created that can sell it.
Gotcha.
I mean, there already is a medical apparatus that many people use in the state. So.
As of right now, you're allowed to have up to an ounce, right?
If you have a card, I think you can buy up to 2 ounces a day.
I thought I heard on the news,
which is an insane amount of weed, by the way. If you don't smoke weed,
because it passed, you can have an ounce on you.
Oh, okay, great.
Now, that's what
I'm just going to carry around an ounce just because, then I guess. Just because I can.
Because America.
The Final Death gave us tips. Said, hey guys, in the wake of all the dejection and despair people are feeling today, I got to say, I can't wait for Stone to game over Greg. I love all you. Keep doing what you do.
Oh, can't wait either.
Yeah, we're going to get there soon enough. Superfly MK gave us tips. Said, hey guys, I've enjoyed how Trump winning and Brexit happening has showed how globalization has failed to protect manufacturing industries in USA and UK. Can this lead to a return of nationalism? It's possible, and I think that's people's fear. Nationalism weaponized is very dangerous. Nationalism by itself could just be interpreted as pride. So it's hard. It's a razor's edge kind of thing. That said, I'm glad NAFTA is going to go away. I'm glad that trade deals are going to be reconfigured to be more beneficial to us and our workers who have been decimated by cheap labor from third world countries. So that is a major interesting thing, and that's something I agree with Trump about. I think I actually don't. I mean, I've said it before. It is very anti-Republican, but I don't believe in free trade. Like I don't. I think you should have to pay the price to import and export goods. I don't understand because free trade assumes that everyone lives at the same standard with the same monetary system with the same amount of money, and it's just not the way it works. If you can pay your employees a fraction of what they get paid here to make the same thing, then free trade doesn't benefit the country that imports those goods. I mean, I just don't understand that any argument to the contrary. Mattman94 gives tips that I'd like to know your thoughts on Kaepernick taking a knee and speaking out against all these injustices going on, but then refusing to vote. I personally think it makes him a huge hypocrite. I respect Colin Kaepernick's right to do what he wants. I think Colin Kaepernick is a useful idiot. Like, I think Colin Kaepernick is the epitome of a useful idiot. And he has the right to feel what he wants. I think some of the things he's talking about are very true. I just don't think he has any idea what he's talking about. I think it's clear that he learned about these things very recently. He has no background in these issues, and he has a lot of educating to do for himself and a lot of reading to do. Because if you don't vote, you have no right to complain. Just to let that be known. Bounty gave us tips. Said, hey, Colin, I was curious to why exactly you think Bernie would have lost to Trump as well, and worse than Hillary. Gallup shows that 50% of Americans would vote for a socialist under no circumstances. So even assume that the number is really 45. he starts with 55% of the vote. You can't win. You can't win when you're starting with 55% of the voter pool. People have an aversion to socialism in the United States. He would have gotten the young vote, he would have gotten the Democratic vote, he would have gotten the liberal and progressive vote, but there is a massive swath. Trump won because of independence, and he would have won those independents too. People don't want the government in their business in the United States, and people that overseas that don't understand that just don't understand America, and that's fine. But we have a distrust of big government. We don't want them in our lives. And that's the thing that's shared on both sides of the aisle. It's really only the far left that doesn't believe that. Claude Jack gave us a tip and said, for me, the worry is the hateful and now empowered. We saw a 41% increase in hate crime in the UK post-Brexit. Morality is being degraded by hateful things said on a world stage going unchecked. It's possible, and I'm sorry about what's going on in the UK. I don't expect the rise here to be that significant, but it could be. There is no room for hateful rhetoric and not understanding other people and their experiences. At the same time, both sides need to understand that. Closing thoughts, Kevin.
Let's all come together. This decision was made. That's it.
Greg?
Yeah, man, we got a president. Let's move forward. Let's try to fix this. Let's not forget this. Don't forget this next time an election comes around if you're mad. Don't glaze over and not care about politics and not pay attention to anything.
My closing thought, I think the most salient thing to say is to stay engaged. And to not be afraid. I feel like FDR said when we were going to go to war with Japan, the famous quote, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. I do really believe that. I understand that on the ground it seems like things are going to be bad for some people or some groups of people. I really believe in the goodness of American citizens to not let certain things happen. And I think the inexorable march towards gay rights, towards the inclusion and integration of minorities, for a bunch of things that we have and hold dear in the United States as a freedom-loving people, I think that they continue to be inexorable. I think that it would be political suicide for the Republicans to go after those people. This is not why the Republicans voted for this man, I don't think, and these independents especially voted for him. And so I offer one of the few, it seems like, people that are hopeful that will come through this fine. Am I going to be wrong? Perhaps. But let's be optimistic. Let's, and this was the same spiel I was going to give when I assumed Clinton was going to win. Let's be optimistic, move forward, and see what happens before we jump to any conclusions. And let's also understand why this happened. And it happened for very specific reasons. So stay engaged, keep talking. Politics are important. You have a right to vote for who you want to vote. You have a right to feel the way you want to feel. I wish you all the very best.
Colin, it's time.
Oh, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your support during Extra Life. If you recall, when we hit $40,000, Colin got to smash my pumpkin mug. Can I say goodbye?
This might not break very easily.
No. Plus, you got those little pipe cleaner arms. Sorry, old friend. Good month. I'm saying goodbye, Kevin!
I just want to apologize because this will be a little shaky. I am holding this camera.
I'm sorry, old friend. He's really gonna...
Oh, wait, look. I'll bring this in pin for Greg. Thank you for that, Kevin.
So many things are taken before their time.
The music is awesome.
The overcooked sad-ass music. At which point people said, Greg, what will you drink coffee out of now? And I said, well, I got this cool Columbia, Missouri mug. And then I was like, but we still need a seasonal mug. For it is the season of the holidays, Colin, is it not?
Just do what you're going to do.
You weren't even listening.
It is indeed!
Thank you, Kevin.
Actually, I was listening, and I know where this is going.
Just play along. Why don't you?
I don't want to play along because this is going to have to be destroyed too. Whatever
Thanks,
you're going to
Trump.
It doesn't work. Thanks, Eisenhower.
Thanks, Coelho.
Thanks, Carter. Thanks,
Don't even get me started on Carter.
John Quincy Adams.
The mug got smashed. We need a new seasonal mug, and a young French-Canadian girl answered the call. Kevin, drum roll, please. Thank you. Are you cutting to a new camera for the reveal?
This is
Ladies and gentlemen, your mug for the rest of 2016. We get to count down every day how many days of Christmas there are. We can even write things on it, Kyle. We could write whatever we want on it. You could write
It's
things
like
on it.
it's like Around the Horn.
Exactly. I'm Woody Page. That's what I said when I got it. And Jen did not get that reference.
I don't think they have Around the Horn in Quebec. I don't think they have televisions in Quebec. Well, we're gonna destroy that mug. Sure as the fucking day is long.
It's got a longer life though. Then
We should keep that somehow installed so we can always.
well, like if you weren't gonna smash the mugs, it would be fun to bring them into the rafters too. Like you do a little pan up, and there's the pumpkin mug hanging up there. Then that guy, a little Billy Joel jersey.
Okay. Well, that mug has about 2 months or less until that no longer is of this earth. The Snowdrop Man gave us a tip. Said, Colin, drop the snowman. Oh, I will. Trust me.
A big thing came around because I get the bike. I buy it. I go bike riding in Chicago with Jen. This reawakens my love of the bike. I had forgotten that I loved the bike, much like the late Robin Williams forgot that he was Peter Pan in Hook, but then eventually remembers. I remember that I loved the bike. I got that bike the first time. I came.
What is the story you're even trying to tell? Gazer Pazer Pfeld gave us a tip. 2 tips, actually. 2 messages. 1 message, though. Says, I get that many of us, even Colin, were disappointed with the election on Tuesday. There are even times when I doubt my vote for the winner. However, I don't want this to break us. Kind of Funny is a special group, and that's what will keep us going. It's time we just accept that. Not gay, but $5 is $5 was the worst PSN name of 2016. I'm proud my submission won, and I will not apologize for it.
That election was heated. There were protests in the streets yesterday calling for "Come on her chest" _ to be the winner, really. But the votes have been cast.
Come on her chest is a really clever name.
Now, Dreamcast Forever says, have you ever masturbated, all caps, and shot yourselves in the face by accident? Who hasn't?
I assume I have.
Yeah.
I don't recall a specific instance.
Sure, no, I don't remember like the story, but I know it's happened.
You probably sit there and open your mouth and hope you get a little bit in there, don't you?
I put Portillo over my eyes and let him be the
Jesus.
backboard. What, everybody? You ain't ever jacked off with a wiener dog on your face? You know what I'm saying?
You
Come
never
on.
jacked off on a dog before? You're a troubled youth. I didn't read a tip yesterday that was sent that disparaged someone I know, and I want to talk a little bit about this. About a situation, so because it's buzzing around, and I think it needs to be squashed. 2 days ago, I was tweeting out. Max Scoville at IGN tweeted back at me. I thought he acted super inappropriately. I don't think there's any question about that. I reacted in a way that I thought defended myself. I don't think there's any question about that. However, I don't like the way people are going at Max. I don't like the way people are talking to him and about him. And Max reached out to me and apologized through private channels very nicely and very appropriately. And I forgive him. I don't think it was even all that egregious what happened. So I want to say that to just ease off and let up and leave him alone. I don't really like bullying at all. Actually, I don't like it. I don't like bullying. I don't like pushing people around and all that kind of stuff. And so just stop doing it. So I just want to say that really quick before we get into the news. So just throwing that out there, since that seems to be the zeitgeist right now amongst a lot of our core community, and I think that needs to be squashed. So
The vocal minority, probably, right?
sure, but I was reading a lot of those ads, and they were not nice, and a lot of people are not nice to me, and a lot of people are mean to me. And it hurts, and I don't want to see that being done. It's not like we're the closest of friends. We're certainly not. But I know Max. I like Max, and I don't want to see people treated in that respect, in the way that I'm often treated. Sure. So I'm throwing that out there, and I think that's.
I just put up a big post on Reddit talking about a whole bunch of community things, and one of the ones I called out because it's based on a bunch of people's comments over on Reddit, but things we've seen on Twitter, or things we've seen on the Facebook group, or things we've seen on the own forums, is the fact some people are like. Some feel like the community in parts, again, probably just the vocal minority, is a cult. And whatever we say, we're untouchable and da-da-da-da, which isn't the case. Well,
I'm sorry, no.
No. The cultness, sure. But the fact that you don't need to rush to our defense, especially when it's, for you and Max having a public tiff, which is always weird, right? You know what I mean? Like, my reaction, of course, is to step back, let you guys handle it the way you're going to handle it. But you don't need to rush out and attack somebody who's attacking Colin because you like Colin. We know you like Colin, and that's the whole thing. I think some people, and not because they're bad people, have just gotten a bit away from the message of best friends, which is that we should be respectful each other, even when we say something. Now, when the guy shows up and is like, Colin's a fucking gay douchebag, fuck that guy. We don't need to engage with him and talk to him about anything.
And what if I was gay?
Yeah,
What would you do about it then?
What if of that sentence, the only thing questionable was the gay part? But I'm saying amongst yourselves, right? If somebody does pop up and they're like, hey, I don't like when Colin and Greg Live talks about politics, or I don't like this, you don't need to go and attack that person. They're just saying a valid criticism that they're allowed to have and have an opinion.
Some people, there's been a lot of shock recently, like you said, about some toxicity that I think is happening in the community, and I think that just happens as things grow. Some people pulling their Patreon support, some people pulling their Twitch support. That all basically evens out. And I'm not interested in trying to beg people to stay. If you want to go. I mean, that's fine. I don't really.
It's your prerogative.
It's totally irrelevant to me.
I think about all the podcasts I've grown out of, or all the content I've grown out of, or TV shows. That happens. That's okay.
Exactly. We don't need to have a post about everything that like. Just go. It's fine. I'm not. No one's begging you to stay. That said, people need to treat people with a little bit more respect, just generally, and be just a little bit nicer. I don't think I did anything wrong the other night. In fact, I know I didn't. But people are allowed to make mistakes, and I forgive that mistake from someone that, unlike everyone that's attacking him, I actually know. So just let it go. I don't need you to fight my battles for me. I don't. I've been doing this for a very long time, and while I appreciate the sentiment, I've been on an island alone in this industry for a very long time, and that will continue. I've done that to myself because I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'm not part of this massive liberal echo chamber. That's just the way it goes. That's fine. That's my choice. So, and I know that resonates with a shit ton of people. When I said I got 1,000+ really awesome, nice tweets in 24 hours, probably less than that, that's real. I mean that. I posted a Facebook post today. I posted it at, just to show you the resonance of it and to show you that we are speaking to certain people. An hour ago or so, I posted on Facebook. It has 1,500 likes and 811 shares and 272 comments about the election, because I am speaking to a certain group of people that don't feel like they're spoken to. I got literally 10 text messages, some from people I haven't heard from in a long time, thanking me for saying what I'm saying, private messages and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I am speaking to a certain group. Some of you out there it's not going to resonate with it. That's fine. That doesn't mean that we can't do other things together. It doesn't mean that we can't enjoy each other. Mm-hmm. If I judge people based on their politics, I'd have very few friends here. I'd have a lot of friends where I'm from, but let's just keep everything in perspective. Right?
Cool. Let's talk about nerd stuff.
Yep. Babs Boone says, Colin, don't you think Trump will be more socially liberal than a lot are making it out to be? I think he'll be the most socially liberal Republican ever by a mile, actually. But that doesn't seem to matter to a lot of people, and those aren't the issues that are really core to what he was running on anyway. So I'm not super worried about that. Someone sent me a picture that I didn't see of him at a campaign rally in North Carolina holding an LB, like the gay pride flag on stage. I'm like, okay, you didn't see that image anywhere.
Yeah.
It said.
Well, it's like that thing yesterday. We were talking about it last night, right? Or was it this morning? What was it? I don't know. Who remember? I want to say New Yorker, but I saw somebody kicking around last night. Actually, on the forums, on the Kind of Funny forums, they put it up. The NPR article about what he wanted to do in his first 100 days. And he had all these things. You read through them like, oh, it was actually okay.
Yeah, I actually read. So that he gave that thing at Gettysburg, which some people had a problem with. I agree. I don't know that Donald Trump needs to go to the Gettysburg battlefield or Gettysburg, the town. But I read through that and I'm like, I agree with 90% of this. Fucking lock, stock, and barrel. So we'll see what happens. I think that a lot of these things should happen. So I was never in disagreement with some of Trump's policies. I was in disagreement with the man and the personality and the temperament and the fitness to be president. I still don't believe in his fitness to be president, but I do think that he's gonna hopefully surround himself with capable people. I just want to see what happens before I throw him under the bus. That's it. He's not even president for 2 months. So let's see I want to see how he governs, and then I will render a verdict. That's it. My name is Colin Moriarty. This is Tim Geddes.
We saw it over at the Century 20 in Daly City, and they have new seats now.
They're so comfortable, guys.
And they're they're bigger than they used to be, but somehow Kevin
kids.
was still over my seat.
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
That's on purpose. What part of
don't
that do you understand?
Get it. I don't understand how one human being can take up that much. He literally was sitting there. He had both the things down and had both of his arms like this on the things the entire time.
No, there was a lot of this.
And then he would like be on my side like this, and it's just like I don't know, like because it reached a point where it's like it's not a joke anymore. Like he's not just trying to fuck with me because I'm just not reacting to it, but he's still there, and I'm like, if I'm this uncomfortable, how is he not this uncomfortable? Because it's the heat that gets to me.
Yeah, you are hot. You are like
There's
you're like
a lot of heat.
You're like a what are you like?
Dynamo.
A what?
Dynamo.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I was thinking more of like some sort of dying star that just emits a little bit of heat.
A dwarf star?
Yeah, like a
One of them brown
you're
dwarfs?
pulsing like a quasar. Why does my chair sound like a fucking haunted house?
I don't know, man.
I noticed it too, though. That's my chair.
Yeah,
So
it's
Am I fat?
no. I mean, getting there,
Yeah.
but shouldn't be making those noises. I don't. I have WD-40.
I love WD-40. I love the smell of WD-40.
Me too. It's good for your brain.
Spray it right up my fucking nose.
good for your brain.
That was a joke.
I doubt it.
Do not spray it in your
That
nose.
wasn't a joke.
I know. I'm scared for you.
And get some gasoline, put it in like a fucking Dixie cup, and just let me fucking huff it.
You do a little huffing?
Yeah. What can I do for you, Nick?
No, I'm just saying.
You're looking fit.
It's the bigger shirt. I'm gonna stretch them out a little bit too.
It's the sleeves
and
too.
then just leave it up.
Sleeve it up.
There it is.
Oh, there we
it
go.
is.
There we
Whoa,
go. Oh
look
my
at it.
God, it's as big as a building in the back.
It's huge.
I like it.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Excited that it's Friday?
Oh yeah.
I'm thrilled. I'm so
It's
fucking
fancy
tired.
Friday.
Long week.
Leave that there.
Yeah. Man, there's so much going on right now.
Don't
Oh God.
promote huffing.
I'm not promoting anything.
Why not have it?
Why not huff it?
All right, hold on a second. Okay, that's all I wanted to do.
That's all you needed? You just need a little bit?
Christ.
It's not quite a hop, it's more of like a hop.
That smell is so nostalgic. It's so weird how nostalgic that smell is. Pixel Brave gave us a tip. Said I wanted to shout out fellow kind of funny best friend Barrett Courtney's video essay on Dark Knight Rises. Gave me a whole new respect for that movie. Anyone interested, search the B list, Dark Knight Rises. No link, because it's 20 minutes long.
Yeah, no, hey.
Barrett's the homie.
Barrett's the homie, and Barrett's been killing it. He is a perfect example of people, of the audience members. They're like, how do I get in the industry? And we're like, just do something. And he does something. His YouTube channel is super awesome. He's been making a whole bunch of videos that are these like really cool video essays. I highly recommend it. BZG's the channel name.
Yeah.
Check him out. He's doing cool stuff. Barrett, the homie.
Born Against gave us a tip, very satanic tip, $6.66, and he says, Hail Satan, Colin. I visited real America for the first time in my life. I had sex in Central Park, ate pizza at 7 different places in 7 days, saw my first ever Dominican in real life. New York fucking rules. Sounds about right.
That was the best tip ever. Started off with Hail Satan. Oh, shit.
Tyson Rhino gave us a tip. Or no, he just said, that's not true at all. He said in chat, Colin, I've lost some friends over the election due to me asking why they were overreacting at Clinton's loss. How would you handle these people who can't come to terms with reality and just move on with their life? I am neither for Trump or Clinton, and I understand that he's our president now and hope for the best. Well, the last thing that I think he said is important. Anna Navarro said this, who's a pundit, a Republican pundit, who is totally against Trump like I was. We shouldn't want him to fail. That's a weird instinct that people have, that they want him to fuck everything up. That like he's in now, he's installed, so we should actually really want him to be the best possible president. And I'm trying to be optimistic about his abilities to do that. I'm not 100% hopeful that's going to happen. My instincts tell me that nothing is going to happen, that it's going to be the exact same that it's been, that neither good nor bad, but just complete indifference. And I think that Trump's not going to run again, so I think that like this will be a weird anomaly. But my hope is that he's a fantastic president. You know, that's my hope, because we need it now. So the divisions that this election has caused between people I find very distressing. And the rupture societally with the culture war that's going on right now reeks of the 1850s, and that's bad. You know, it was that was what when people just started walking away and saying we're leaving now, we're done. We don't like the results of elections. That's why when I see things like Cal exit, which is the idea that California was secede from the union, that's just, first of all, it's never going to happen. Second of all, I mean, it's illegal. There would be a war. I mean, is that what people really want? Like, people need to think about the repercussions of their actions and the things they're saying. We don't walk away from elections, we lose. We go back to the ballot 2 years, 4 years later, and we fight again. So I encourage people to try to be positive. I understand that the reality on the ground for a lot of people is different. But I also think that the hyperbole about how dire it is going to be or how dire it is simply false. And until those things come to pass, you're not helping anything by spreading those kinds of things around. People need to understand each other more than ever. And if people don't want to be your friend because of your politics, then that's more their loss than yours. It's not like you're a fascist or a communist or a Bolshevik or something like that. A Republican and a Democrat can get along. A Trump supporter and a Clinton supporter can get along. You know, so try to consider those kinds of things. You know, it's I'm saddened to see the violence. I'm saddened to see the acts of racism and bigotry that have been reported. I know there's some skepticism on if all of them are real or not. I don't know that that's necessarily the most important thing. What's important is that it's possible, that we know it's possible, that we're not surprised when we see something like that. You know, and so I said it on Twitter. Some people got mad about it, but it is. The sun will come up tomorrow. Everything's going to be fine if we allow it to be fine. And if we see bad things happening out of the Trump administration, if we see a Congress overstepping its bounds, removing people's rights, then we fight back. And I don't mean that in a physical or violent way. I mean, we figure it out from there. That's the way the system works. The people that are rioting right now, they lost, and they're upset. And I get it. It's catharsis. And it's necessary and needed, but infringing on other people's rights, destroying property, for people that probably voted for Clinton, by the way. You're going up to storekeepers' shops who probably voted for Clinton and destroying their livelihoods. And that, as I said on Twitter today, it creates a new Trump supporter every time you do that. It just proves him right. Prove him wrong. If you hate him so much, prove him wrong. And I think that it's possible across racial lines, across gender lines, across sexual orientation lines. So consider those things, because I am very distressed about what's happening right now. And if it's this bad when Obama's still president, I fear what it's going to be like when he's sworn in. Do you have anything to add?
No. Game over Grady next week. I'm sure we're going to talk about all this. I'm trying to just stay out of it right now. Like, it's just, my short and sweet answer is there's a ton of different perspectives, and I honestly do not believe in human beings. Is my kind of answer. I think that people are very selfish. Everybody, every side. Like, we're seeing ugly things everywhere, and it's just like, come on, guys. Like, be good to people. And I think that we're not being good to people, and it's so easy to lump it into an us and them, and it's not that at all. It's individuals, and individually, people are being really shitty.
Yeah, I know that here in San Francisco, I was looking at the polling. My dad and I were talking about the election yesterday, and he was like, what was the data in San Francisco? And I was like, I was like, I don't know. And I looked, it was 89% Clinton, which is incredible. Like that, you never see numbers like that. And I know that the protests here were peaceful, few arrests, whatever, but no real damage done on Market Street and surrounding environs. Oakland's a different story. New York City's a different story. Portland, which I can't even believe, like what's going on in Portland. And in other locales around the country. The us versus them mentality that people claim that Trump created, and I think that he did, and I think that he fostered that environment. If you play into it, it's like bait, Like, he says something's true that's not true. You do something that makes it true, then he goes, see? So if you just peacefully assemble, march, stay on the streets all you want. I don't care. Like, protest away. But just try to do it in a way that makes your message heard, because underneath all of it is a dire situation that is just being made worse by continuing divisions amongst a group of people in the United States, 320 million of us, that actually have almost everything in common when you really consider it. Because what's at the very top of most people's lists, right? Family, economic prosperity, job and security. Like, these are things that far left people share with far right people share, and certainly independents and people in the middle. So it's worth considering that we got to this bad place because of divisiveness, because of rhetoric, because of these kinds of things. But it's out now, actually has to solve the problem. And rioting doesn't solve the problem.
But that's
rioting
the problem, man. With the riots and with the protests, it's like, that's when it really becomes the us and them thing of like, what's the difference between the people that are on the streets protesting, as is a right that we are given, versus rioting and breaking things and causing all of these issues? Like, those aren't the same people. the whole crowd of people can be on the same block. It's the two guys breaking into a fucking thing and looting. Those are the guys. They're not protesting. They are rioting. And I think that it's unfortunate that we look at that and all of a sudden this whole group of people are rioting. And it's like, that's not true. It's individuals are. And the rest of them are protesting, and then they get lumped into with them. And that they are causing more Trump supporters and all this. And it's just like, whatever, man. Don't be stupid on an individual basis. Think about the people around you. Think about the people not around you. Think about yourself and make decisions that are going to better you and the people around you and everyone else, because that's what we all need to do. Or don't. We have that right too. We don't need, like, the people that don't agree with the system's fucking stupid. Cool. Great. So if this is your way of handling it, that's up to you. It's dumb, but that's me thinking it's dumb.
Just remember this important rule of history. There's a fine line between pushing back against the establishment and then breaking through that line and then it rubber banding back on you and making it worse. Don't prove, or at least aspire not to prove, the people that don't like you right, because it just creates more supporters and it creates a vacuum where Trump will just be like, look, there is lawlessness. Look, there is a fucking problem with crime and all these kinds of things. I was right. We need law and order. We need all these things. Prove him wrong. I'd like to see that more than anyone, just in that respect. Peace, I hope, wins the day, and I think that it will. And I'm confident that we're going to be fine. I am. I hope you have a fantastic and tranquil weekend. Enjoy some games, eat some food, be good to each other. We'll see you on Monday. Cut the feed.
Take off the pants. We want to see that dick.
Dear God, the button's
Jesus
undone.
Christ,
The
these
button
undies.
was undone.
Can you see right through them?
Not only can I see through them, there was a hole in the back like you got bit by a snake.
I'm not gonna lie, I looked away.